Hi, I'm Bob. Welcome back to Economics in Real Life. Econometrics is a branch of economics that studies the relationships between different variables. These variables are the characteristics or quantities we observe in real life. For example, we see the price of goods in shopping malls, the gas prices in gas stations, the inflation and unemployment figures in newspapers. Government agencies and universities often conduct various surveys and censuses to collect information about residents for policy design and evaluation. We can also find a wide range of macroeconomic and microeconomic statistics online. We are surrounded by an ocean of information, data, and variables. Identifying causal relationships between those variables is never an easy task. We usually build models for variables, estimate the parameters in those models, and identify correlations or causal relationships between variables. In this process, we must pay special attention to whether the causal relationships we find are real or merely spurious. Let's look at the following example. These are the monthly data on US ice cream sales and the number of deaths caused by drowning in 2023. The orange line shows changes in ice cream sales, and the blue line represents the number of drowning fatalities. If we run a linear regression of drowning deaths on ice cream sales, we obtain a statistically significant estimate. The estimated coefficient is positive, suggesting a positive relationship between ice cream sales and drowning deaths. However, does this mean that ice cream causes the accidents? Obviously not. This is a classic mistake in econometric analysis, omitted variable bias. It occurs when an important explanatory variable is left out of the model, making the estimates unreliable and misleading. Common sense tells us that rising outdoor temperatures increase both ice cream sales and the number of people swimming. If it becomes colder, both ice cream sales and the number of people going swimming will fall. It makes them display similar trends over time. Therefore, we find a positive correlation between them. However, a correlation between two variables does not necessarily mean causality. If we want to identify the causal relationship between variables by estimating regression models, then we should not omit the temperature variable in this model. Otherwise, it causes omitted variable bias in the estimates and results in a spurious causal relationship. If we add monthly temperature data to the model, the coefficient on ice cream sales becomes statistically insignificant because its p-value becomes large. A p-value lies between 0 and 1. The closer it is to 0, the more statistically significant the estimate is. When the coefficient becomes insignificant, it means that after controlling for temperature, we cannot reject the null hypothesis that ice cream sales have no effect on drowning accidents. Temperature, on the other hand, is statistically significant even at very small significance levels. Thus, temperature changes are far more likely to be the true cause of the accidents than ice cream sales. Higher temperatures lead more people to swim, so the number of drowning deaths will rise, given that the probability of accidents remains unchanged. Of course, if you could find monthly data on the number of swimmers in the US and include it in the model, you would likely find a very strong causal relationship between swimming accidents and the number of swimmers. I was unable to find such data, but temperature can serve as a proxy variable for the number of swimmers. That is why we can obtain a significant estimate in the model. This example illustrates that an apparent correlation between two variables does not necessarily mean a causal relationship. Omitting an important variable often leads to spurious causality. This is a key idea to remember when studying econometrics, and it also helps us understand the underlying mechanism behind observed data in real life. Thank you so much for watching this video. See you soon. Take care. Thank you for watching this video and subscribing to my YouTube channel. See you next time.